first gear. Good afternoon. It is a chilly Sunday afternoon, and I apologize if I'm a little froggy sounding. I've been down with the flu for the last week or so. So if you'll notice last week, which you won't know what week it is, so it doesn't really matter, I put out a couple of what I call filler videos that I shot on some mundane stuff that I just had been sitting around doing nothing for a week such as this, when I couldn't even get out here to work. Because breathing, is not all that easy for me at this point. But I feel good, I just can't breathe. Breathing's optional. But I figured it's time to give you all some more info on the Gremlin, But this is what we're up against now. You've watched me go ahead and put all new gaskets and seals in the old, in the old Borg Warner. I almost said 833. Mopar. Mopar on the brain. But anyway, in this Borg Warner, and again, my brain's a little stuffy too, so you'll have to bear with me. I got the right bracket. That's actually the right part for this car. Well, it's for an AMX, close enough. It's an AMC anyway. But I need to put the shifter on. I've got these paddles on. These are actually Mopar paddles. But that's okay. We did a little bit of a modifying, just a tiny bit of modifying on the mounting surfaces, just so they'll fit a little better. They were a tad too tight and a little bit too sharp, so we took some corners off them and just slimmed them up just a little bit, so that these paddles will go on there. Here's the shifter. It is a Hurst shifter, which is what's supposed to be on here, but it is made for a Mopar. Yeah, does that matter, really? I mean, it's a Hurst, right? Shifter's a shifter. As long as you got, 3 little levers here, 1 for reverse and 2 for forward gears, I'm pretty sure I think I said that bass backwards, but you know what I mean. I think we're good. Now, I can, for about $200, get the proper rods. And if all goes horrible, then, and this one's too short, as I can tell already. Look at that, I'm going to have to find another one. So I may end up having a breakdown and buy the right rod, because I'm looking at this one, and you can cut too short a lot of times and it'll still be too short. Although I can put a section in it if I can't find another rod. I've got a whole box over there, that way, full of rods, and they fit Mopars, so probably all going to be too short. But I'm going to get the shifter mounted, and then I'm going to take the rods off, and I'm going to see where they got to be. I've also got to figure out where first and second gear are going to be. I've got my little doohickey in here, and I'll show you that in a second, to align everything. So these are all perfectly aligned right now, and I'm going to mount this to the mount, so everything is where it's got to be. And then we're going to create some rod action, and then test on it. Make sure she is going to go, first goes into first, and second, and so on and so on. But yeah, money's nice. If you got lots of money, then by all means, order the crap you need and do it the easy way. But if you're like me, a dollar saved is a dollar earned, and I've got tons of this Mopar stuff around, tons of it, and I can't see spending $150 on a set of rods when I've got 15 of the wrong sets here already, I can make the wrong set into the right set with a little bit of heat, maybe some welding, you know, and stuff like that. So far in my lifetime, knock on wood, I've made lots of rods and lots of steering columns and lots of brake rods and stuff. And so far, thank God, nothing's ever, okay, I've had a few clutch rods go bad. Okay, I admit it, because they tend to be thinner. But so far, so good, nothing's ever broken and left me in a dangerous situation. And shifter rods, really, you know, if you're banging gears and you bust a rod, you still got several gears left. You can drive home in reverse, worst comes worst. And I've done that before. I found out the local police frown on that. I was doing the speed limit, but it was in reverse. And I guess I got a backing where prohibited ticket. It is what it is. But yeah, so if you can't, you know, I guess it doesn't matter if you're doing the speed limit if your car is pointed the wrong direction. I don't know. I figured I was going with the flow of traffic. Anyway, yeah, the forward gears went bad on a truck one year. I was young at the time, younger. And yep, I drove home, you know, several 15 miles, 20 miles in reverse. But anyhow, I guess somebody just thought I was fooling around. In reality, I actually broke. Broke and broke, right? Always broke. Because I spent all my money on cars. Jeez, you know. Okay, all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to zoom the whole camera in so you know, it's great. You know, I watch a lot of these videos and you can see everything going on. In reality, all we really care about is what's going on here, right? We want to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to try to get you the best at lighting and best for let me try this in English. The best camera angles I can to show you what I'm doing. And I'll explain it. You just have to listen, you know. I don't know that y'all really care all that much about seeing. If you do want to see more of me and less of the car, you know, throw that in the comments. But honestly, if I'm watching a video, I kind of want to see what's going on, right? You know, the guy, I can hear his voice. I know what he looks like. I've seen him 100 times. Or the girl, or whatever. You know, I guess if I was a girl, you know, pretty enough, then yeah, sure, I know you want to see the girl. But, well, unless you're a lady out there, and I apologize if I, you know, offended anybody. But, you know, it's really cars are the stars. So go ahead and let's get started. First thing we're going to start with is mounting the mounting plate. And that's right here. And I have brandy new bolts that go with it. And so they got little washers on them. And look at that, they actually fit. This is actually an AMC mounting plate for a Hurst shifter. So we do have one correct part here. It's pretty exciting, right? Chances are these are, you know, I'm going to have to put these on several times because I can feel the threads are just dirty as heck. But, you know, at least they're the right one. Well, that one's actually starting to go in. I'm pretty excited about that. Oh, look at that. Whoa! I'm excited as can be about that one. And that's the adjustable one. But it's got a little bit of adjustment in case, I guess, if you have a Muncie or a Borg Warner, they might differ on these. I'm going to fetch me a socket and we'll tighten those down. See these two holes? This one's a little bit bigger. And this one is a little bit smaller. And this one's a little bit bigger. And this one's a little bit smaller. So you can't put it in wrong. It's what I call idiot proof. So what we're going to do is line them up, get them started, and sock them down. Now they're a little long, but we'll see. Let's see. This one I'm not too worried about because it's out here in space. And I may even, this one you don't want to over tighten because it squeezes on the shifter, and if you over tighten it, I think there's a bushing in there to keep it from being over tightened, but what I usually like to do, snug it, and then I have a bolt a nut, goes on the back side. And you just kind of screw that nut on there, and then you tighten the nut up. And that way, you don't have to tighten this and it crushes itself against the threads on the other side. And look, it's 11/16. And that way you keep everything nice and snug, or tight, or whatever you want to call it, so it won't walk away on you. And there we go. And this still has all the play it needs. Now this one, on the other hand, has got a big sleeve right here, so you can sock it down. The only problem with this one is if it's too long, it's going to hit the body of the transmission. So we're going to see if we got to put a washer or shorten the screw or whatever the case may be. We're getting, yeah, see, I'm right up against the transmission right there. So that's not going to work as is. So I'm going to try to search for one a little bit shorter. And if not, we'll put a washers or spacer or something along those lines on this one. I got to admit, this shifter works very nice and smooth. So I'm pretty darn happy at this point. Everything seems to be good so far, knock on wood. But now comes for the fun part. Okay, this outside lever is 3rd and 4th. Okay, this middle lever is 1st and 2nd. This bottom lever here is for reverse. Okay, so if you look, the shifter is way this way. Okay, and so everything has to kind of come out to get to where it's going, and around all this somehow. And that's why those shift rods are so funky duty on the man, it's almost there, you know what I mean? Except for, yeah, this is 3rd and 4th, so that would be this one coming up. So that exact shape rod, but longer, would almost get me there. Maybe got to come up, probably have to come up this way a little ways, and then over to here, so maybe rounded. So we'll see if we can't find another one. Now for 1st and 2nd, that one's going to be too long, and that one's going to have to come up and around as well, or underneath this way and over, almost like a Z. And a reverse is going to be a humdinger. Reverse is going to have to come now in the actual proper rods for these. The reverse rod is actually in a Z pattern. It actually comes out. It comes up like this. And see how this is further down than the other ones? I think you can see that. It's a good thing because I can actually come out this way with a rod, you know, like a Z, which is exactly the shape of the original of what it looked like. I was looking at it, you know, online. I'm going, wow, that's a weird shape. It's like a Z pattern, but I see why. And this shifter is going to work perfect because that bottom reverse lever is longer than the other two, so it gets it out of the way. But these two we're going to have to put side by side, and they're going to have to be longer. We might take this long one here and put it and make it so that it kind of goes up and around. This one will almost work if I bend it to go to there. Let's see if this other one, I'm just going to get a whole bunch of levers and see what I got. Oh, that one's actually pretty good. If I get it, let me see. If we put it there, this is, all right. That one's almost good. Almost. It's not shaped right, but it's almost good. And I've got my rod in here to keep everything straight while we're doing this. And I think if I put this one, man, if it was shaped like that, but if you'll notice, look, that's not quite the direction I need it to be. So that's going to have to be twisted, maybe. We can try twisting on it, heat it up and twist it. But let's see if I got some other rods that will work without that much modification. I found a rod that will work perfect. And just going to go right here. I'm going to cut it. Probably right here. Because that's where it starts to bend upward. And I don't want that. So I'm going to probably cut it here. And then I'm going to set this end. Can't quite see it, I guess. Into, let me adjust that camera so because you don't really care about seeing this tail shaft, but you do need to see the shifter. Alright, so I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to stick the piece where it needs to go, and then we'll figure out exactly where this is going to go. So let me get out my trusty saw, we'll give her a cut right there, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to put this piece in there, and I'm going to put this piece back where I had it. And we're just going to lay them side by side. And we're going to end up cutting, let's see, in order to make that like that. Well, that's really up there, isn't it? It wants to stick way out of there. If I put it underneath, I wonder what would happen. I don't even have that tight, do I? It's not even tight. We could do that, and that works out pretty nice. I don't know if it would brings it up above. I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Brings it really, really close to the. Let's see. I could go with a flat bar on this one, because I didn't expect that to kind of stick out as much as it is. This is perfect here, but I just need to be able to come in and, what do you think? I'll keep chewing on that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a mark where they need to be lengthwise, but I'm going to figure out if I want to put a flat bar on here and that make it even out more, or maybe swap these two. We'll play on that for a minute, and I'll be back. Here's the moment of truth. Uh-oh, there we go. There we go. Alright. And that's going to be second and third. So let's pull my pin out and see if she'll go. There you go. That's fourth gear. I mean fourth and fifth, third and fourth. I think that's, unless this is, it doesn't look like it's going all the way for whatever reason. Well, from there, I guess it was. Yeah, maybe so. Seems to me like it would go. Alright. Well, it doesn't seem like it's going all the way for some reason. I don't know if something's stopping it, or maybe it's just because I'm pushing this way, you know. But it's there. Something's not making it. Probably just because I'm dealing with, you know, no leverage here. Come on, get in there. There it goes. That's all the way, I believe. And back to neutral. Okay. Alright. Once I get the pin in there and a washer, we'll kind of hold it off a little bit like that. Same with this one. That one works just fine. Well, let's just see how much in the way it's going to be for the next rod. Yay. Cut the next rod in. I got a piece of cardboard here kind of keeping it up in there hard and flat. This one works pretty good if I put it like this. So what I'm going to do is, this one's too long, but I'm going to cut it right about here. And then we'll see where that one's got to go. This one, we're going to cut it right here at this knuckle. And that way I can kind of tilt it. I'm going to put it at an angle a little bit, I think. So let's cut her right there, and that way I can have a little bit of leeway to go that way. Let's get to cutting. Yeah. Got that tacked real good. It's a little closer to here than I wanted, but I think we're golden. Oh yeah. I like it. Let's finish welding it, and we'll go from there. Alright. There we go. Looky there. 2 down, 1 to go. So if I go over here, pull this in. Oop, I forgot I got my little lock in there. Pull it in for first gear. There we go. Okay. So first gear is going to be over and in, right? So we'll go this way, right? Yep. Now to point that, yep, first gear. Alright. Put my centering iron back in here. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of something in there, probably just this piece right here, to hold this in, because reverse, well, I guess it won't really matter. This one won't fall out because it won't come out without loosening this up. So far we've got those 2 done, and this one I'm afraid might rub the shifter a little as I was shifting, but I think once we tighten everything up we're going to be good on this one. But even if it rubs a little, that's a pretty thick rod. Okay, let's see. Now reverse. We've got a short one, and we're going to have to go, well, that's not going to work. Okay, reverse rod is backwards. How funny is that? I just realized that. The bigger end is here, smaller end is here. All the rest of them the other way around. I guess that's the way they don't want you to mix things up. Okay, this is a shorter rod. And if I remember right, this has to look like a Z. But actually, you seeing what I'm seeing? The way this is bent, if I cut this and turn this around, coming in from that angle, I think we're there. To be honest with you. What do you think? I think, because look at that. That's like right there. I don't need no fancy Z. Although, let's see, reverse is going to pull it that way. That's perfect. Well, daggum. Woohoo! This is going to be easier than I thought. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Knock on wood. Woohoo! But yeah, man, I like it. We're going to cut this rod. I'm going to guess we'll cut her again right here at this, where the Z part of this goes. I don't need no funky looking unit here. I really don't. Battery died on me on the camera, so I got some of this done without y'all watching. But you heard me say I was going to cut this there. I've got it cut. She's ready to weld. This one's actually holding itself in place. I'm okay with that. So all I'm going to do now is go ahead and put my tack weld and then finish weld it, and this part of the project will be done. I do like the... I've made this as short as it can go, so I can actually make it longer if I need to, but not shorter. So I got to make sure I'm right on this, or I'm going to be hurting. But I think we're golden. All right, woohoo! Now, we'll finish welding this bad boy. She's a snug one. This one, she's good though. She's good. I don't know if I can get her out without without undoing my. Yeah, I'm gonna have to undo the shifter here. Hopefully she's not too snug in there. Let's see, she's good. She's got a little bit of play. That's it right there. Yeah, I'm in. Alright. Golly, I made this one. There we go. I've made it with this all the way in. I should have maybe put it in the middle there because I don't have any leeway. Well, plenty. I think we're good. Alright, well, we'll find out. If not, we'll be chopping her again. I'm going to finish welding this and then put it together and test on it a little bit. Hope that wasn't too tedious for you all. It was a little tedious for me. But I've got her setting up, got her rigged up a little bit here so that I can test her out. I'm not going to be able to jam on the gears because the transmission will go flying. But I can test on it. So we're going to go first gear. There it is. Second gear. There we go. Third gear. Fourth gear. Alright, ready? First gear. Oh yeah. Who needs reverse? I know on a Chevrolet the reverse is over and up because I've got another one. So I'm assuming I just can't get it in there. Yeah, I'm just assuming I can't get it in there because of the flopsy-nervy of the... Doesn't go either way. So, yeah, it don't go either way, so I don't know which one is good. We're just going to assume I've got it right. And I'm going to do a little research and make sure that reverse is that way on this particular shifter. And I should have a shift knob somewhere with with the, wait, this is a Mopar shift knob. Duh! This shift knob came off a Mopar, so let's see what it says. Yep, reverse is over and up. So, okay. Oh, it says push down though. So it's a push down. It says to push down to get to reverse. I don't know. Can't get enough leverage in here. In spite of my failure to get it into reverse, which I still haven't managed to do so, pretty confident it's right. If not, we can always fix it. But she shifts good. I'm kind of feeling pretty good about all of it. We'll see. The shifter feels a little weird going into forward gears. Not really sure why. It sounds real solid going into the rearward gears, but again, that might just be a matter of adjustment. For whatever reason, the shifter doesn't seem like it wants to go as far forward as it could, and that could be the shifter's just old and maybe needs a little grease. It's got a big old grease fitting right here, so I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. But nonetheless, this is the end of the video. I'm going to go back into the house and get my lungs some warm air. I'm fairly surprised I did as well as I did today. Sickness sucks, to be honest with you. But if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor and subscribe. And it wouldn't hurt if you mashed on the old like button either. Doesn't cost you a thing. And it helps me out immensely. But I hope this video helps some people. And if you just like watching, because hey, how many guys you see out there working on a Gremlin, right? And take that and then multiply it by mismatched parts. I think I'm alone out here. Maybe not. Lots of guys put Hemis, right? There's one out there, the Gremlin with a Hemi. There's probably lots of guys out there with Gremlins that are whatever came in them. 3 speeds, 4 speeds, you know. But I say AMC guys, got to stick together. This one, she's a smorgasbord, shall we say. But like I said at the beginning of this video, not this video, but the beginning of this video series, is they did come, you know, AMCs did come with Borg Warner Super T10 transmissions. So this shouldn't have been that much of a stretch, really. Maybe the mounting gears are different for the AMCs, or I just plain old have the wrong bell housing, which we know that already. So if I spent the big money on the right bell housing, I might have the right transmission. Everything's going together well. The Hurst shifter is a little wacky, but it's working. And as long as I get that reverse system worked out, but I don't think that's because of the setup at all. I think that's just the shifter itself and my lack of how to make it happen. Every car is different. As far as the shift patterns go, I learned how to drive on a Maverick that had a 3-speed, but somebody put the shift rods on upside down, which makes first gear where second gear would be, and third gear where reverse would be. So you got to shift it all backwards. It's all good. It worked. Yeah, never did fix it, and I learned how to drive on that car. Took my driver's test in that car, and many years ago. But yeah, it's all good. And the worst that would happen if I had these rods backwards is first would be where second's supposed to be, and vice versa. So you'd end up reversed shift pattern. And automatic to do it. Why not a 4-speed? But pretty confident I got it right though. We won't find out till we get her in and are actually driving her, which hopefully that will be the next video. I'm afraid we're going to get to the drive shaft and reach another hurdle, but that might be a whole video in its own. Nonetheless, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. You guys are awesome. See ya.